Ride, presented by Longines, is a brand new series from FEI Originals that takes a deeper look into the equestrian world. In this week's episode, Mexican show jumper Eugenio Perez takes us on a stable tour of El Milagro.
Over there you have
Paralympic Dressage gold medalist Natasha Baker takes to the slopes. We find out how the Swedish Eventing team have been working through the coronavirus pandemic. And we hear from British Eventer Laura Collett following her first 5-star win at Po.
Riding horses day in, day out is it's all I've ever known really, and it's all I've ever wanted to do. I would say it keeps me sane, gives me focus, and I get a real sense of achievement just working with the horses. I really like bringing them on from youngsters and seeing how far they can go, and you choose horses when you go and buy them, and to see them progress and see if they turn out what to be what you think they are. I really get a lot of satisfaction out of that.
Following the events of July 8, 2013, Laura Collett's eventing career hung in the balance.
I was riding a horse called Tis a Beauty in an intermediate at Tweaseldown, and I don't actually remember the whole of the day. I think I had 4 or 5 horses there, and remember the day before and nothing of the day. So I've watched it back, and basically the horse didn't take off at a corner fence and had a full rotational fall, landing directly on me. I was knocked out and basically then put in a coma. So I had a fractured shoulder, broken ribs, punctured lung, lacerated liver, fractured cheekbone. I was resuscitated 5 times on the way to hospital, but I think the best thing was that I didn't actually have a head injury, because that's what takes the time and knew everything. So the only thing that really affected me was losing the sight in my eye, because I had to learn to deal with that and learn to adjust. Yogi Breisner, who trained me, he said, "You're only allowed to ride experienced horses," because I'd lost the sight in one eye, so depth perception was all a bit strange, and I had to readjust. So he said, the older horses will look after themselves and they'll look after you.
It's been 7 years since Collett's horrific accident, but her drive to succeed has never wavered. And recently she secured the biggest win of her career, the 5-star title in Po.
I like to be able to achieve things, and I have a plan, and you set goals, and yeah, sometimes it takes longer to achieve your goals than you first wanted to, but that's what makes me even more determined to make things happen. And yeah, the feeling of winning Po was just totally surreal, and it still hasn't properly sunk in yet. And I think on a personal note, what you've been through to finally achieve sort of a long time goal is what makes it really special. It makes all the hard work worth it, and all the days where things go wrong and horses go wrong and things like that, it just makes the moment even sweeter. Deep down I knew that with London 52 he is a horse that if everything went right he could be there or thereabouts, but it was very much the aim with him was to go and for him to have a nice experience, and anything else was a bonus. So it's one big bonus actually winning on a horse doing its first 5-star. So it's an unbelievable feeling, really. It was just one of those weeks where it felt like everything was going to plan. He did he did a really lovely dressage test. He showed what he can do, and that was sort of like, okay, well, we knew he was capable of leading the dressage. And then cross-country day, I had a really good ride on him. Before, he would always be a horse that's very shy and would lack confidence, and in that split moment, that that split second, he, for me, turned from a boy to a man. Like, he absolutely just said, we can do this. That was what I would say was the moment of Poe, really, was how much he changed as a horse, and mentally he will have come out of it so confident, and that's something that the whole team knows what's gone into it. It is a team effort getting a horse, even just getting a horse to 5-star, let alone getting it there in such good form and then to come out on top. I really feel like everyone's played a huge part in it, the owners, the sponsors, everybody who's made it possible to get to this point. It's almost like a way of being able to say thank you to them is by winning a 5-star, and I just hope that they all realise what a bigger part they've played in all of this.
This is Malagro. We're basically on the grass field. This is where we do the grass field jumping. Say we have a grass field show next week, say like D-Ridge. We put jumps out here. Horses love it. They actually like working on the grass field more than they like over there on the sand. We've got the natural ditches over there. We got the grass, the bank over there. Small one, but the horses can learn how to jump it. And yeah, we use this just to flat the horses. Horses love it. We use a lot to lap around the pond to cool off the horses and just keep them in a good mental place, It's good. So this is the tack room. This is basically where we end up getting ready, where we put our boots on, spurs on, all that, and then head out over there to the tack stalls to get on the horse. I'd have to say the favorite part of about this room would have to be probably the bit locker. I've had great memories with Guga and Eddie just coming in here, not liking what we have on the horse and just going off and on, trying different bits till we find something that we're like. I think it looks really cool. It's actually really easy to work out of instead of having all the bits in a box like we did before.
Eugenio has had the challenge of juggling a riding career alongside studying for a degree at the University of Miami.
It's been hard. It's the balance between the riding and the studies is never easy. I'm always more inclined to put horses first, and at times that's kind of put me in trouble sometimes, but it's really taught me how to kind of balance the two and balance responsibilities, and so far I think I'd like to think that it's been a good time. We'll go into the office. Pretty much this is where most of the work off the horse goes on between myself, Eddie Mackin, Guga, my other trainer. So come on in. Every Sunday, Eddie sits me down with Guga. We put on the rounds of that week with the horse, and we talk about what I did right, what I did wrong, what the horse did right, what the horse did wrong, where we could improve. Kind of sets the tone up for next week. I've had quite an earful here when I don't do well, but there's been other times where we sit back and watch rounds that were great and brought us a lot of happiness. So it's a bit of mixed emotions, but yeah, definitely a lot of learning has been going on here between me, Eddie, and Guga. So a nice room and a bit quiet away from all the chaos over there. No doubt about it. Probably the top 10 moments in my life have come because of this sport, and I'm so thankful that I'm someone that gets to do it, and I'm just enjoying it while it lasts. I don't think of it as a normal life, and I get to experience that, and I'm like, wow, that's just amazing, So definitely have been having a great time, and I'm really happy that I got to experience it for so long. All right, so like I said, a lot of great memories are here, a lot of history about the team, our barn. Last year in August, the Pan American Games, my first championship with Team Mexico, finished Team Silver, individual fifths. The horse was amazing. Yeah, a lot of history in this place about our team specifically. I think it all starts with my grandfather on my mother's side. He was a great horseman, kind of got my mother into it. He was a charro in Mexico. But that's kind of where it all started, you know. Got my mom into riding, and that's how my mom and my dad. But you know, incredible horseman. You got to see me ride a couple times, and that was really special for me. And yeah, it's kind of a family of horsemen that I've come down from. So hopefully one day I can, you know, be as great as he was with the horses. He was really special.
One of Eugenio's fondest riding memories came during the summer of 2018 at the Longines FEI Jumping Nations Cup.
Dublin was really special for a number of reasons. Training with Eddie Mack and the legend of Ireland that he was. It was a lot of fun going there, a lot of pressure. But we never really ever imagined that we had a chance of winning. You know, it was crazy. I think we went in with like 50-1 odds or something like that, and ended up winning the competition. It was absolutely amazing. This is the main part of the barn. This is where most of the work happens. Over there you have the wash stalls, as well as the farrier and vet stall. You have the horse spa, which we use often after we jump. And then vet office is over there. Hey, going in there means something's wrong. There's always a breeze coming through. It's very fresh, even though Florida can get very hot. This barn always seems to have a breeze coming in. The horses are really fresh in here. They have big stalls. I think it's 16 by 16 stalls. This is Armani. Right now, at the moment, he's our top horse. And he's basically the horse that we think that is gonna make it to Tokyo. He's a 12-year-old gelding by Askaset Kumano. He was my partner for the Pan American Games. He's just an overall amazing horse. Had him since he was end of his 6th, start of his 7-year-old year. So really lucky to have him. I genuinely think I have one of the best teams in the world. Like my guys, we've been with each other. Mario has been with us 12 years. Guero, his brother, has been with us almost the same amount of time. Victor, 8 years. They're like family, you know. They live on property too, and you know, it's just we don't think of them as staff. We think of them as family, you know. And we all kind of pull together. We all have the same goal, which is to go in the ring and win. So it's great that we have our goals aligned, and it makes it so much easy to work with.
Para-dressage rider Natasha Baker, a 5-time Paralympic gold medalist, has never let anything stand in her way.
When Natasha was first diagnosed with transverse myelitis, it was actually quite a long process. So we believed at first that she had a different kind of syndrome where they generally make a very quick recovery. Transverse myelitis was diagnosed, but that was quite a few months down the line. So we were just kind of living day to day and just going with everything. It was so much to take on board. It was just too much really to take on board all in one go. So I think it gradually sunk in as the time went by.
I don't obviously remember contracting the virus, and I feel so lucky that I was brought up with it, and so I don't know what it's like to walk normally or do things in the conventional way. And Mum and Dad always said that I can do anything I want, and it may not be in the conventional way, but it'll be in the Natasha way.
That's definitely my favourite.
As a child, she did swimming, she did brownies, she played the violin badly, she played the piano. There was lots of different activities every evening. And then it was Natasha's physio who said to me, you know, look, she's desperate to ride. You really need to get some serious riding in. And although Natasha had always been sitting on ponies before she could even walk, she was sitting on ponies. The serious sort of riding didn't start until she was about 9, when we took her to the local RDA, and she got spotted, and at the age of 11 she was put onto the world-class programme, and again they moulded her really into the person that she is today.
It was definitely right place, right time, wasn't it? We were so lucky that South Bucks RDA were not just into the therapy riding, they were into the sports riding as well, and they had horses that were competition horses, didn't they? And that is, at the time, it was very unique to the RDA, and they had really close links with the Paralympians, didn't they?
Yes,
so
they did, yeah.
When the team from Sydney came home, we were like the first stopping point for them, and so we were able to see the medals and meet them, and they were such a big inspiration for us young up-and-coming riders that wanted to be Paralympians one day. Once I set my mind to something, I have to give it everything to be the best that I can be in that. There's nothing really that gets in my way, and there's always obstacles, and that's the thing, and the thing that I've always said to anybody, if you want something enough, you won't let anything get in your way of getting there, because if you give up, then you obviously don't want it enough. There's always a way around something if you want it.
Yeah.
Natasha's drive and determination are evident not only in her equestrian career, but in everything she takes on in life.
I love the feeling of being on top of the mountain. You kind of feel like you're on top of the world, and being in the fresh air, there's just nothing like it. Back in 2013, I got an invite from my really good friend and owner at the time, Christian Landolt, and he invited us out to his chalet in Gestad for a bit of a trip. I was watching all of my friends and family off skiing, having a great time, laughing a lot at them falling over. And the ski instructor came up to me and was like, "Why are you not skiing?" So I said, "Well, you know, I'm disabled, plus I've got a bit of an injury." And he asked me where my injury was. I said it was on my hip, and he was like, "Oh, that's fine, give me 5 minutes." And came back with this ski, the sit ski, and I was like, wow, that's amazing. And he took me out for a free ride, and I've been absolutely hooked ever since. There's a massive difference between sit skiing and normal able-bodied skiing. Obviously, able-bodied skiers are standing up. They've got 2 skis, 1 on each foot, and the poles. Whereas mine, I am literally sitting on 1 ski in kind of like a bucket seat. And then I've got crutches that attach to my arm, which are called riggers. And they've got mini kind of skis at the bottom. So they're there to help me turn and help to stabilise me. And then I have to use my body weight to kind of turn to make the turns whilst I'm skiing. So it's very much down to balance, which kind of goes well hand in hand with my riding. So Mark, my other half, is a really competent skier. He's skied pretty much all of his life. Mark's been massively instrumental in my skiing journey, and for my 30th birthday, Mark, my parents, Christian and a friend of ours all got together, and they actually bought me my own sit ski. And so that's a massive turnaround for me. It has made me much more independent, and it's kind of given me more motivation to be able to learn to ski competently myself. And this week has been amazing for that. I've really developed my skills, and once I got up on the top of the mountain, I was absolutely hooked. I just loved the feeling of it, and it's kind of like that feeling that I get when I'm riding, like it's that freedom. It's an awesome feeling.
Nations Cup glory, a team bronze medal at the European Championships, and Olympic qualification. For Swedish Eventing's chef d'équipe Fred Bergendorf, 2019 was a year to remember.
Yeah, it was a special year, and I think one thinking back of it is one of a real good organisation. I think we had such a clear goal what we wanted to do, and also what we didn't want to do. Everyone wanted to qualify for the Olympics, and we had 2 chances, both in the European Championships, but I think what really made the year was the Nations Cup, which means that we had to draw from so many different riders and so many different knowledge in order to be able to do what we did.
"2020 has been a different story, however. Due to the global coronavirus pandemic, The team, like most others, have had to adapt. Rider Therese Wickland moved to Bergendorf's yard at the beginning of the year.
Yeah, it didn't really become what I thought it would be when I came over to England in January, hoping for a big long season to compete. But instead, I think we used the time really well and been training and really been focusing on all the small details that we not have time to really do when we have the season going.
Having a rider here to train in a way where you could, we love to go to the competitions. But sometimes for those nuts and bolts basic techniques, it's not so easy to fit them in a busy competition schedule. And to be able to absolutely think, okay, we got a few months, what is it we really want to get better at? And then make a program for that. That's been great fun.
With the opportunity to actually keep training every week, you could put up goals to train for. Otherwise, I find it kind of difficult if you don't have any competition to actually training for, to keep the motivation up. But because I had the opportunity to train, we could set up small goals, and the motivation to go up every morning has been really big.
Not all riders have had the benefit of face-to-face coaching, and the team have had to develop new ways of working.
Well, obviously, just doing something easy, picking the phone up to the riders and wonder how they are. It might sound simple and stupid, but I think that's really important. But also coming together in some team meetings, we definitely got a lot better with the technology, and that's not just me. So I think that's also something actually we're going to use more in the future as well.
He's very easy to communicate with, and we've been able to send some videos and get some feedback, and getting some, for example, courses and training exercises we've been able to do.
We use WhatsApp a lot. Riders send me videos. I mean, I think that's the easiest, best things. It nearly sounds a bit old-fashioned these days, but that's something which we think actually work really well. They train or they go to competition. In these times, it's been training at home. Send a video and then we have a chat about it on the phone afterwards.
We've had quite a lot of Zoom calls and Teams calls and all this, and with the team, the whole Swedish team, and also with our chef l'équipe, and I mean also with friends and stuff where you've been communicating, and I think it's been working very well.
Hopefully we keep using some of the technology a little bit better, get this basic long-term training in place at home and really give that as much time as it takes to be able to train without having any competitions in the way. Yeah, we love the competitions, but just making sure that the basic training gets done. I think that I would love to see that continuing.
I think all the horses have, to be honest, had a really good time. They all developed very well, especially in the dressage. I put a lot of focus on the dressage, and some horses have, for example, improved their flying changes a lot and things like that, where they some have maybe been a bit green, or some needs to get more established and so on. And some just needed to get stronger. So no, it's been really good, and to get to sit every day and practice on something without needing to go to a show and stuff, it's been very helpful. For us, we've been in the last year really preparing good and doing well, but I feel like we're all flying, and I think it's this little bit of extra time is giving us a chance to even raise that another level, so that we're really on top form for the Olympics. And I think it's in one way not such a bad thing for us, because I think we still have a little bit left to improve until we are there fighting for the gold. And I hope and I think that we've really put some time and effort in this lockdown and during this year, that hopefully we should be ready to be there now when the competition starts this year, 2021.
Thanks for joining us on this episode of Ride, presented by Longines. Join us again soon.